Okay, so on number 1, we name the angle shown at the right and then classify it as acute, right, obtuse, or straight. Well, we've started naming it already. We can remember we can use the 2 outer points and the vertex in the middle. So it could be angle XYZ or angle ZYX. Another way to do it would be angle Y, or the last way to do it would be angle 1. Now, we're showing all 4 here. When we're actually doing it, when you're actually naming an angle, you don't have to show all 4 ways. You can just pick one. Okay, and then the last thing is we need to classify it as acute, right, obtuse, or straight. Now this angle we can see is going to be less than 90 degrees. Less than 90 degrees is an acute angle. So this would be acute. Okay, so now let's check out number 2. Go ahead and put that down. Okay, identify a pair of vertical angles and adjacent angles in the diagram at the right. Justify your response, okay? So it's not saying that we have to list all of them, we just have to list one pair. So let's do vertical angles first. Okay, so one set of vertical angles, remember vertical angles are across from each other. So one set would be, here let me talk about what we're looking for. So vertical angles, right, would be angles 1 and 3. Or it could be angle 4 and angle 2. Those are both vertical angles. Okay, so now adjacent angles, angles that are next to each other. Okay, so a set of adjacent angles could be angle 1, and angle 2, or angle 3 and angle 4. Now, there are 2 more sets of adjacent angles, but we're not going to worry about naming all of them right now. Okay, grab number 3 and go ahead and put that down. Don't freak out by the X's. Remember, we have actually already talked about how to solve equations on Friday and Monday. Okay, so write and solve an equation to determine the value of X in the figure. Now, remember, what do we know about these angles? Well, we know that vertical angles are congruent. So an easy way to find X would be saying, okay, 2x plus 2 is going to be the same or congruent to 130. So that's how I can go ahead and set up my equation. I can say that 2x plus 2 equals 130. That's what then being congruent or the same allows us to do. It allows us to say that they're equal. I'm going to draw my line to separate my equation. Remember, we get rid of all adding and subtracting first. So I'm going to subtract 2. What I do to one side, I have to do to the other. That goes away, so I end up with 2x equals 130 minus 2 is 128. Now I'm going to divide by 2. What I do to one side, I have to do to the other. And I get x equals 64. So what is the value of x? The value of x is 64. Okay? Last but not least, I know guys, it's been a long homework night for you. Okay, put down number 4. Okay. It says write and solve an equation to determine the value of x shown on the sidewalk. Okay, well here's x is in this angle right here. And this angle is 115. Well, they're adjacent angles, which means they're right next to each other. And if you look, they form a straight line. What do we know about straight angles? Straight angles are a straight line that measures 180 degrees, which means if I put these two things together, they make 180 degrees. So I can say that 5x plus 115 equals 180. Okay, so now I'm doing just like what I did up on number 3. I'm going to draw a line through my equal sign. I'm going to get rid of all adding and subtracting. In this case we're adding, so I'm going to subtract 115. What I do to one side, I have to do to the other. Okay, hang on just 1 second. Okay, so that goes away and I end up with 5x equals 65. Now I have multiplying, so I'm going to divide to get rid of it. And I get x equals 13. So we have found the value of x. The value of x is 13. That's it for tonight, guys. Have a great evening.